Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel. And one of the things that I always think about is a little bit about the future of computers, Windows, technology. And one of the reasons why is that I plan to keep this channel for a long time. And so I have to adapt the content to what becomes popular, what is out there. So of course I've been dabbling about all sorts of ideas, including a little more maybe Android content because it is dominant. Maybe a little more iPhone. I don't know. It depends on really where the trends are going. I look at the stats on my videos, what makes the most videos, the most popular videos, what people want to hear. But the question that comes up, because as we're moving into the future, we have Windows 11 now. We'll have Windows 12 next year, and Windows is here to stay definitely for a long time for a simple reason: the PC market isn't dead. A lot of people predicted 20 years ago that the PC market would die. It's not dead. It, in fact, is alive, even though it's down right now. It's alive and kicking. It's still, hundreds of millions of PCs are sold. Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask you guys in this video is because I've dabbled. I have a Fire tablet, which comes from Amazon, that I've of course tweaked to get the Google Play Store on it. It's fine, I mean, it's not a very high powered tablet, but for what I do, it's just perfect, and I actually love it. I mostly wanted something that's big enough, like 10-inch, at least 10-inch, to read ebooks and stuff like that, and read my magazines that I am subscribed to. And of course, I got a Chromebook, and I've got several types of devices, mini PCs with my big screen TVs, and I've got laptops, and love all of it. I've got older devices that I've transformed into all sorts of things. For example, I've dabbled quite a lot with Linux distros, which I find nice to play with. Maybe some people on the channel that watch have the impression I'm anti-Linux. I'm not. I'm just in the real world, in the reality that Linux, in a lot of cases, can, yes, if somebody would, I would guess a lot of people that just do a little bit of things on their PC, because the majority of people don't do a lot on their PC. And if they would learn to use a Linux distro, it probably works. But Linux isn't there, and it's not true that it's easy to use for regular folks. And you end up having all sorts of things happening. It's not true that you just install a Linux distro and be happy. Not for regular folks. And of course, I look at that, and I've played with a lot of different distros, Linux Mint, Ubuntu, and so many other variations in there. Of course, I got a smartphone with Android. I had iPhones, and I did own a MacBook Pro a long time ago. So, I've touched all the different platforms and technologies out there that are somewhat popular or less popular, depending on what it is. The question is, in the future, Windows is not. I look at why people buy PCs, and when I look at what people do with them, it's easy to understand that a lot of people could be doing their computing on something else. Often buying overpowered PCs that for email and surfing the web, for example. And you don't need that power. That power is unused. It's like I've seen people buying, when I was a tech guy, buying gaming PCs that they pay big prices, and all they do is do some Word documents, search the web, load some emails, and they pay the high amount of money because they want the best. And the thing is that you don't have to pay $2,000 to have a good PC. So what keeps you in the PC world? That's the question here. What is exactly makes you want to stay on these types of devices, or maybe a desktop? And why aren't you going to an iPad, an Android tablet, anything like that? What keeps you on a computer? And I'm not thinking or here of, PC Windows versus Mac. Let's put the categories together here. A laptop's a laptop. If it's a Mac, it's a Mac. If it's a Windows, it's a Windows, but it's a laptop. Here we're really talking about the traditional type computer versus these tablet devices, for example. What is keeping you from switching over to something else? Because I've always thought that people moving away from Windows are moving away because they're using other devices. That's why, when I see people saying, well, Linux is growing because people are leaving Windows, people aren't going to Linux. At a certain limit, maybe some are going to Apple, but it's not really a thing either. In general, it's really much more people who leave the PC world, whether it is Windows or Mac, it's because they're moving on something else. And on the Mac side, a lot of people have exchanged their Macs to an iPad because it does what they want. Now, if it's because of specific items, for example, I would not be able to use only a device like that because I do a lot of stuff here. I've got special hardware. I'm an amateur radio operator, so I've got hardware that is unique and that works within Windows but are impossible to work on tablets. What keeps you from moving on? Even if you don't have anything specialized and you know that you could move on, why do you still want and keep a PC, a traditional PC? It's just a little question I have for you guys. And of course, with all I do, I need PCs, and I like PCs. It could be just because you're an enthusiast and you just love it. And that is, I remember having my first PC and then moving to, with DOS and then moving to PCs with Windows 3, 3.11, and being amazed, and I just loved it. And, the thrill is a little different today, but still could be there. So if you do plan to move on to something else, what would it be in the future? And I mean, once again, don't say, oh, I'm moving to Linux. That's not what I want to hear. I want to hear, why are you moving from, if you do change, why would you be moving from a traditional PC-style computing to tablets, smartphones, or whatever? If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.